What's happening? Got some new tools here. Got them on the Home Depot website, and it was the buy more, save more. I got 3 tools, but one is still shipping. I picked these 2 up at the store, and it's the M12. Let's see, M12 fuel lithium cordless jigsaw tool only, and the M12 fuel brushless 1/4 inch right angle die grinder. I wanted the right angle die grinder just to add to my setup here. I really use an angle grinder, but I do have this M12. It's kind of, I don't even think it's a fuel. I think it's an older gen. It's called a rotary tool. It's not a die grinder, it's just rotary tool. But it works really good, and I did upgrade and got this kind of thread-on collet or fitting. This is made by Dremel, and it was like 12 bucks, and it just goes on there, and it's a lot easier to put the bits in there that way, because it was hard to find the actual inserts that go inside the brass fittings. So I got that, and it's handy for certain things. I have a carbide bits that I put in there, but I wanted to get the right angle die grinder for stuff that I usually will use an angle grinder with a flappy disc, and I just thought maybe it'd be a little handier to use in certain situations, and as well as for sheet metal and cleaning up some stuff. Anyways, so this looked like it was already, the tape was already busted on it. So I'm gonna open it up. Hopefully it's good, and hopefully it's not all jacked up in there. So inside it's just chilling in there, and this is how it comes. I didn't open it yet so I could show it what you can expect, but this is the Gen 2. I did a lot of research, and it seems like the Gen 1 was kind of, had some flaws, I guess. Some people had some problems with it. It came with the tool and the manual, and there's the box. It's actually pretty simple packaging, but the box, yeah, the tape was already opened on it, so I don't know what's that about, but hopefully it works. Got the lights on there. Got 2 lights. What's this say? Just a spindle lock on that. Got the fuel gauge. I guess that's on 4. Variable trigger. I never had one of these before, so honestly I thought it'd be spinning a little faster. I feel like my rotary tool goes faster than that. Anyways, I also picked up this was 20 bucks. I picked up this kit that goes with it, and I guess I could open this up real quick. This is for the roll lock stuff. I just see a lot of people using this tool where I would be using an angle grinder, and I don't know if it's better or worse. So let's see, it came with the roll lock bit. I guess that just threads on there like that. Hopefully this is in focus. Anyways, and I guess that just goes into here. There is a chuck locker thing on there. I guess that just threads. You can choose how much you want it to stick out. I'll just slam it in there for now. I don't usually use the tool too much on my angle grinder, so we'll see how this goes. And then the roll lock. These look like Scotch-Brite pads. Different levels of coarseness. Looks like it works pretty good. I don't know what to test it on, so I don't really want to just gum up these bits right off the bat, so I'm just unboxing the tool. And it also came with these sanding discs. Looks like that says 50 grit. Another 50. This says 36. This was 20 bucks, which is not bad. And it came with the rubber main piece, and then you can buy these separately, I'm guessing. This doesn't say a grit. That's 36, that's 50. This is the finest. So I'm guessing this is gonna be like a 20. It'll probably say on here. 1/4 inch arbor. 24, 36, and 50 grit. Alright, so that's cool. Not sure what I'm gonna use this tool on first right now, but I got it. And then this is the Jigsaw, and I looked up a bunch of reviews, and it had very good reviews. I was kind of skeptical, but I know that these newer M12 tools are getting better. So, got the manual and such, the promo stuff. I guess it has the 1 key. It's got this dust cover. And there's also another piece that I saw, which is kind of like an anti-splintering shield. That kind of goes around the blade when you're cutting stuff like maybe plywood. This is in there pretty good. So it's in there like that. You got your piece on there inside the packaging. Here's the tool. Here's how it looks. It's actually heavier than I thought. It seems like it's got a good amount of heft to it. And it's got the dust extractor. This can hook up to the vacuum. I got the M18 vacuum right here, and I'll probably pull that out here in a second, but where this goes, it's back here. Just goes right in the back, if I can get it to line up. It's a pretty snug fit. There is a tool back here. It's an Allen key. This comes out and that lets you adjust this bolt or nut, and this bolt gives you the ability to change the angle of the shoe for 45 or like bevel cut. There's also this boot, and inside the boot there's storage for blades. And I guess it did not come with any blades, so they're not joking when they say it's a tool only. But this boot is just so you don't scratch stuff. So that's a keeper. Let's see which side goes on first. Clip that on. And this dust cover is supposed to just jam right in there. It feels really tight. I don't know if it just sticks out that far. I thought it would go deeper in there. I might just need to break it in a little bit. But anyways, the cool thing that I noticed about this tool is with the big battery. I got an XC 3.0 battery. I don't think it's a high output, but it's just the bigger battery for the M12. It doesn't hit the boot here. And if you were to use the vacuum, it hooks on right in there like that, which is cool. It's cool. It's cool. I'm like super cramped up in my space right now, but yeah, it's cool when you have compatibility with the other tools. That makes it, I don't want to say worth it, but that makes it gives me a good reason to get another Milwaukee tool. I really wanted to just get the Harbor Freight version of this, but I already had the batteries and I already used Milwaukee tools, so that's cool. I'm happy about that. Pull this out. I don't know if I need to lubricate that or what the deal is. But here's the thing though about this Jigsaw that I wasn't sure about is it's powered off a switch. And it does have a light. And I'll wait till the light turns off, but this is how you put the blades in. Just got your typical, jigsaw type, hacksaw type blade holder, and there is a speed dial right here. So this is on the slowest, and then the fastest. Pretty good. And there's also an A mode, which I guess is like automatic. And my guess is that it just senses like the tension or the resistance and it accordingly varies the speed. So probably it will like slow down on the turns or something, and on the straightaway or less resistance, it'll probably go faster. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. And then right here, I don't know what this even does, but I'm gonna guess. Oh, okay, so this knob right here is like your oscillation. So like when the blade is going up and down, it's like how much it's going around town and stuff. I don't know what the preference is for the oscillation. I'm sure it tells you in the manual like what needs more oscillation and what needs less. But it goes from 0 to 4 and there's like clicks in between, so anyways, so speaking of being worth it, the light, you can turn on the light before you turn on the tool, which is cool, because if you're looking down at your line, you can turn the light on and off to get lined up first. And I might as well put the dust cover on here like so. I'm not gonna lie, this dust cover seems a little finicky, and it does seem like it's a tool that could break easy. I mean, a piece, it's very thin, it feels like it could break easy. And it should just click on like that, but once it's on there, it's fine. I'm not sure. When I saw a guy cutting with it, it looked like it just got really dusty. So it might be better to have that off, but I'm not sure. Almost forgot there is a blower feature on this, so that when you're cutting, it like directs the motor air and blows the dust trail out. So that looks like something that should probably always be on, unless you specifically don't want to kick up dust. But when I watched them cutting with that blower, it looked like it made a big difference. So that's cool. Anyways, back to what I was saying is it worth it? Is the pricing. And let me scoot over here, grab my paperwork for my shipment as I waddle around the garage around these two bikes. So the Jigsaw was normally $199, I guess, and then with my deal I got it for $131. I don't know if you can see that. And then with the die grinder, it was normally $229. I got it for $150. I got it for $150.96. And I bought 3 tools actually. I got the detail sander as well, which is it looks like this. It's a sander that looks like this tool, but right here it's just got like a little square with a pointed diamond. It looks like a baseball home plate sander. It does a orbit, but it's not a random orbital, so it's just like an orbital. It's called detail sander M12. I got that, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I guess they're shipping it to my place here. They didn't have it in stock to pick up. So I bought those 3 tools, and that tool was the detail sander was normally, I don't even remember how much it was normally, but I got it for $104 with the deal. I think it's normally $150 or $160, something like that. So there's all the contents. And of course, while I was in the Home Depot picking up the Rolock wheels bits or whatever, the attachments for the grinder, they had a little mini square, which I found I feel like I need it when I'm on this table. I always end up reaching for a square, and I got a little tiny square, I think it's a little woodpecker square, but I keep that with my woodworking stuff. It's like half this size. So I got this one just to keep on the welding table as like a little measuring square. So that's cool. This was 15 bucks. I thought that was like a decent deal. Honorable mention for the Milwaukee tools. When I was working on the truck, I needed a flashlight, and I specifically wanted the little pencil flashlight. I used to have one, but it was the kind that was you put batteries inside, and I didn't like that because the batteries did last a long time. I eventually lost that flashlight somewhere. I used to keep it in my shirt pocket and just wear it like all the time. Came in really handy. But I got this one. I guess it's like the next level up, and it is magnetic, which is cool. The magnet works very good. It's got a hat clip on it and a shirt clip, so you can the clip goes both ways basically. It's like a Z clip. You can put on the bill of your hat, and you can put it in your pocket. I usually just magnet this inside my truck. But I just wanted to bust this out and show you. I picked this up a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I was working on my truck and I don't have a flashlight, but the thing that really sold me on this was it's USB-C rechargeable. And it did come with a little cable. It came with this little Milwaukee cable, which is cool. It's not that long. It's kind of short, but everybody's got USB-C cable. Wait, is it USB-C? My bad, it's not a USB-C, it's a micro USB. So that's cool. I mean, The only thing that's not cool about it, I guess, is if it stops charging, you can't put a new battery in it. But I just thought it'd be more convenient to be able to just charge the flashlight rather than changing and buying batteries. So this was expensive though, in my opinion. This was $65. I think that's a lot, but I don't have a dedicated flashlight for like working on stuff. So I figured I would get the Milwaukee one. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I try not to be all falling for the brand and stuff, but they do make good stuff. I haven't had a problem with any of my Milwaukee stuff, so I've had tons of Harbor Freight stuff that kind of failed over time. Although the Hercules Harbor Freight stuff looked pretty good, but for me, for the price of me to buy the Hercules die grinder and the battery pack and the charger, it would kind of be, I don't know what the numbers are, but it was very similar to just buying these 3 tools. And I already am like committed or invested to this battery platform. So I just went this route. I haven't seen anyone have any complaints about this Gen 2. Another tool that I'd like to get is the M12 ratchets. I think they just came out with the new generation of the M12 ratchets. And that's one tool that I've always wanted. And I'll be on the lookout for that on my next purchase. Also, I'd like to get the new M12 orbital sander. There's like a detail orbital sander, I think a 5-inch. And I was actually going to get the M18 orbital sander, but it looks like the M12 is a little bit better. So I'm going to get that sucker. There's like 2 different models. I also would like to get the M18 shear and the M12 nibbler for cutting sheet metal and other types of sheets. So I think those would be the next buys: the ratchet, the shear, the nibbler, the sander. Not sure what order I'm going to do, but I'm just going to keep shopping those deals and see if there's any more deals on Home Depot. This video is not sponsored. Obviously, I bought this stuff. And I got the detail sander that's not in here. So I got to buy some blades for the Jigsaw. Not sure how good it's going to cut like aluminum sheet metal, but I am building some door panels for my truck, and I was planning on doing aluminum. That's why I wanted to get the shears to cut the sheet metal, but the shears were pretty expensive, and this Jigsaw was a lot cheaper, so I was like, oh, you know what, I might be able to cut it with a Jigsaw. So we'll see if I still move forward with that project. I'll probably be using these tools on it. In other news, I went to the welding store and got my bottles refilled, my argon and my MIG gas, and we tested my regulator, which is regulating, and it was working properly, but my gauge is not working. So I got a new gauge, and this will go on there. And then this is the only regulator I had, so I caved in and I bought another regulator. So what I'll probably do is, well, I don't know which one's going to be for which, but this is it right here. This was kind of expensive too. This was $70. I know there's cheaper ones on Amazon, but this is from my local welding supply shop. And this one's been good this whole time. I don't think I dropped it. Something with a fluke with the gauge. So I got the new gauge, and this one looks like it has a different type of gauge, but same kind of idea. So anyways, that's that. And I think this was the last thing I TIG welded. Kind of ugly, these hearts. It didn't wet in good. This is just a root and a cap, and this is just a root. I decided not to cap it because I liked how it was flat. this cap was sitting kind of proud, and this one sits nice and flat, but this one on a flat surface kind of rocks back and forth. So I didn't know what I was building these for, but I just got them on the workbench right now. Maybe like let them sit around. Okay guys, thanks for watching. That's my little spiel for that stuff right there. I guess I could show you one other tool I got. At Harbor Freight I got this contour gauge, which might come in handy if I have to cut like a weird shape for building the door panel trim. And it's magnetic on the back. This is just a cheap one. They have a bigger one. It looked a little nicer. So I got this. These are the bits I use for my rotary tool. I don't think these are gonna fit on the die grinder because it's a neck size up on the shank. I'm sure there's adapters, but I'll probably just get the bigger bits. And this is my like dremeling rotary tool bin. I've been meaning to upgrade to like an M pack out case, but these little pieces right here is what I've been having trouble. They're called collets, I think. That's what I've been having trouble finding that fit the Milwaukee one. So that's why I just switched it to the like the 3-jaw chuck version that Dremel sells. And I thought I had some bigger bits in here, but I guess not. I got some really like cheap style bits, and this is just a cheapo kind of kit here. And this is my old, this is the old chuck or whatever. But anyways, so I'm gonna try to upgrade that, and maybe I'll have like a pack out that I have my rotary tool in and the die grinder with all the bits and discs and stuff. I'm not sure yet. Right now I just have like a pack out briefcase thing for my angle grinder and all my sanding discs, all my grinding discs and stuff. Cutoff wheels and floppy discs, wire wheels, they all go in one with my cordless M18. And I also got a corded grinder, but I honestly don't know where it's at right now. I got grinders all over the place, but I don't have a die grinder, so that's cool. Anyways, guys, trying to get back into building stuff, so that's my newest acquisition right there. Trying to remember what else I want to talk about, but I could probably keep rambling. But yeah, I got these 2 batteries. I've had them already, and then I had this little battery, and I had a couple more other little batteries, but I can't find them right now. And oh, here they are. I think some of these batteries are older. I guess my memory card's full because it keeps stopping the recording, but the recording cut off. I don't know what I missed, but there's the tools. I'm digging them so far. I'll test them out in another time. But I was just rambling on about the different stuff I got. I don't know if you heard me talk about the flashlight yet, but I did pick up this flashlight. I'll talk about that when I make the sander video, or if I add on to this video. But I was just showing my different batteries I got, justifying my M12 purchase, as well as these argon regulators I picked up at the welding shop. So, all right, for sure. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I'm gonna try to do more tool videos, just because I'm always using different tools, I guess, and looking for tool solutions, and maybe I can review them as I go. I'm not sure, but I figured I'd do an unboxing so you can know what to expect if you're interested in these tools and want some information about them. Again, not sponsored by Milwaukee, not sponsored by anybody. Just was wanted to make the video. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Benefits to that. And then at the time, General Abramson, the head of the Star Wars, by the way, it's called Star Wars. Yeah. It's interesting in retrospect. He came to Israel and I gave a presentation. I still have the photo of that presentation. And he liked it. And it appeared in all the newspapers that this is the first international project supported by the SDI, the Star Wars program. And that brought me to Washington every few months because we got funded at a few $1 million a year.
You were a project lead on the propulsion side, yes?
I was on the theory side, there was an experimentalist, and the two of us were leading it. I was just 21 at that time, 21 years old, and visiting Washington really gave me a perspective that I didn't have before. And finished this program, and I became an officer and so forth. Where should I? Because maybe they don't have anything beyond human. I had a former executive of Lockheed Martin visiting my home, and I asked him, is this nonsense? All compartmentalized, and the question is, who knows what? And I don't know if the President of the United States knows everything, but the fundamental that if you go and visit your best working for them, and if they were to open it to a broader community of scientists, I think everyone would benefit. I don't think it makes any sense to announce that he was right. But by then, you know, he was landed on the moon 2 decades earlier, and it was very embarrassing for the Vatican to do that. And I love the heritage of Italian age. I was actually in Pisa. I gave a series of lectures in honor of Galileo Galilei. But the Vatican misbehaved, and it was not a good public relations stunt for them to do that.
Is that why you named Project Galileo? Is it repeating itself?
Well, there are several connections that I have with Galileo. The mainstream of the physics community, theoretical physics community, for 50 years, by the way, which is as long as I was practicing anything that you find experimentally. And so my complaint is, you know, here is a mainstream community that was for 50 years working on extra dimensions and making a proposal for unifying quantum mechanics of gravity that will not be tested in the lifetime of people who practice it. So how can they call themselves physicists? After all, the guillotine of experiments is the way of chopping the head of wrong ideas. You know, we can think about an infinite number of wrong ideas. Reality is a realization of one of them. So you can think of physicists as, you know, they're practicing the best way to narrow down the possibilities, just like a detective, you know. So you do experiments, you test ideas, and most of them are wrong because our imagination, you know, especially the imagination of script writers in Hollywood, you know, script writers. Artificial intelligence systems, they are trained on data sets and they reflect those data sets. So think about an extraterrestrial, an alien, a real alien. Is found here than what we find here on Earth, because there is much more real estate if you look up. And so imagining, I was actually faced with this dilemma because the most accomplished sculptor in the US, called Greg Wyatt, he gave me the foundation of the sculpture. And I decided to bring a sculpture that we build now cast in bronze, actually.
You designed the alien?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Well, I tried to ask the question, if you look at the human body, obviously it's not obvious. If I was an artist backwards, right, that must have been a disadvantage. People can surprise you from the back. Why don't we have another eye? I put the 3 legs.